Hello, or should I say shalom? Speaking of shalom, Daniel shalom.
How are you?
Baruch Hashem. How are you?
Are we live already? Are we on YouTube? Is
We
this
are on
live?
YouTube.
Holy cow! So
We are.
exciting.
It is very, very exciting. Um. Okay. I
Wait, you're not going to
think
comment on my LL Kipa?
it's your El Kippah.
You got to be white. It's days of repentance.
You're so racist.
Racist. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
My
Jacob.
goodness.
Jacob. How's your day going? Like, give everyone. I can't just jump at the learning. How are you doing? What's going on? How's
Baruch
California?
Hashem. It's gone. I mean,
I'm going to your side of the country tomorrow.
really, where?
I'm going to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah. Should I do an estuary at the solar conference?
Sure, why not?
Do
A
like
solar conference, yeah. Oh, you know who might be there? I have a friend who might be there.
well, it's the biggest. Anybody who's like in solar or in renewables comes to this conference. It's the biggest conference of the year.
So let me ask him if he's going to be there because if he is, he would love to meet you. Um, ah,
Do you know Adam, Jacob?
which Adam? Oh, the Adam here?
Yeah.
Yes, I do know Adam. Um, are you going to the solar conference in
Solar isn't renewable. It's alternative.
this?
Thank you, young God. Young
The
God
renewables? Okay.
saved the world through solar, so please have a little respect.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now, as far as Adam, yes, we know him, but we take great care not to dox him because he is living in a Muslim country, and
Got it.
yeah, so
Did I know
that's
Steven?
Stephen. So he is one of our Noahides on the Discord.
Oh, nice.
Um, so
Okay.
is Adam, but yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Solar isn't renewable, it's alternative. I don't know the difference between renewable and alternative then. Okay. Yeah. Uh, so you're going to a conference in Vegas. Remember,
Vegas.
you are you are allowed to win against the house, but you are not allowed to win against other people.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because then you would be Mesachek B'Kubia. There are various heterim
Interesting.
for not being Mesachek B'Kubia.
Interesting.
One of which is that the house in Vegas doesn't really count because it's kind of their business, right? And it relies on the Rambam's understanding of why Mesachek B'Kubia is forbidden. There's the other reason. So there are two major reasons why Mesachek B'Kubia is Pasal Edut. Do you know this?
No.
So one of them is the Rambam's Shita that it's Avek Gazel. It's like stealing because the person who you are taking the money from never meant for you to win. Right? So that's the Rambam Shita. The other Shita is that a Mesachek B'Kubia does not have a gainful parnasa, and such a person is not a reliable witness. So according to that one, even somebody who, frankly, you ask me, somebody who makes their money on Wall Street, not 100% sure they're kosher latest. But yeah, so if you go according to the Rambam, then you can gamble in a casino as long as you're not taking money from other people.
Interesting. Well, I don't gamble, so I'm a good Jewish boy. So.
Are you saying I'm a bad Jewish boy? Because all I do is play poker. That's what I do. Yeah, when I go to Vegas, or I actually went to Laughlin on my trip out to Jason's wedding. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Lost $100. It was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's not gambling. That's fun. I'm nearly sure photoelectric plates generate DC current, which is later. That is correct. And the limits I know, so I don't know that much of the technicalities of solar, but I know enough to know that is correct.
Wow.
This is so fun. It's turning into a solar shear. I have 300 panels on the roof. I had to turn them off to they up delivery until it was unprofitable. Yeah, residential solar. Whoa, 300 panels on your. You must have a big roof. Wow. You must have a nice size roof, because that's nice.
Well, so Steven owns a winery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, business. I was gonna say that's a big residential home with 300 panels.
So if you ever go to I think he's about 2 hours from New York City. If you, his winery has tours. You
Nice.
can go on one of his tours. Yes.
I love this. I'm like, this is just for the connections. It's worth doing this Gemara share. It's great stuff. Literally.
Yeah, 1.5 hours.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to say it outside.
What outside?
Say the Gemara outside.
Okay.
So the Gemara starts by asking us why it says Ine Mamanot and why it says Gezelot v'Chavelot.
Yeah.
And it starts off with because it wants to exclude Hodot v'Holvot. And it goes back and forth on why exactly it needs to teach that. So Gezelot is where we get the verses of 3 where it says they shall take to the gods, meaning the judges, and from there we learn out 3. So you would have thought, okay, it's if it just said gezelot v'chavelot, you would have thought that it was saying because that's where we learned out Dinei Mamanot and Mali Kaspo Mali Gufo. It doesn't matter whether it's a person's money himself or something is being stolen from him, or if it's a tort. So that would have explained it. But we say no. It needed to say it because Hodot v'Holvot are different. And it gets into a whole discussion on how they're different. So the question becomes, do you need what do you need for Hodot v'Holvot? And
now that we know it's different, now that we know it's not 3 and it needs now that we know it's not 3 in Mumchem, we have to figure out what is the situation. Sorry, now that we know it doesn't need 3, what doesn't need? So yeah, if I think the first approach is that you do need 3. Sorry, I'm messing this up. Keep going. I interrupted you. Keep going,
so I didn't keep track of the various shitot because that's to be in for how fast we're going. But the question becomes: do you need 3 mumchem? Do you need 1? Is 2 enough? What happens? Why do you need 3? And the discussion becomes because we want to make sure that people still loan money to each other. And because of that, we only require 3 people, but they don't have to be mumchem. Whereas I guess the Din Torah ultimately is that one mumcha is enough. three. You need three because it's a chutzpah to do it with less than three, and the Rabbanan wanted people who are sitting in the corner not to not to think too much of themselves because they don't know too much. So then the question becomes: Are you are you making it worse? Because if then the if you allow three, they don't have to pay. They're not individually liable for their mistakes, and that's as far as I got on top of Gimel Amud Aleph before you showed up.
It's not like I was late. Okay, don't say I don't say.
No. When I started early, I started 5 minutes early with the countdown so that I could spend 5 minutes and just review a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then we get to yeah, and the big question becomes: what's the difference is whether or not if two people made a decision, they're allowed or not allowed, and that takes us to the two dots, I believe, unless I missed something important.
It was a general summary. There's obviously all the micro steps.
Yeah, the micro steps. I mean, it's frankly, if we were doing this with you, and we should chart the various rabbis and their various opinions and look on the various opinions. Mm-hmm. I almost broke out a chart and started writing down. Okay, so this is what Abahu says, and this is what Rabbah says, and this is what Shmuel says.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so two dots, nezek v'chetzi nezek.
Sure.
Okay, so then the question becomes, so the next sugya is, it talks about nezek, chetzi nezek, and tashlumei kefal, right? And it asks, well, chetzi nezek isn't really a dinei mamonot. It's actually a fine imposed on people. So why does it teach chetzi nezek? And it says because ultimately it wanted to teach the other ones, so it makes sense. Nezek, chetzi nezek, and so you would teach them all together.
Right. The final interpretation, because they were anything it wanted to teach you things outside the principle, which is for sure K-Fel 4 and 5. So then chetzi nezek falls in line with that.
Yeah. Okay. Next two dots. Now we start asking, okay, how do we actually know that this is 3? Right?
Yeah.
So, you want to read or should I read?
I'll read this time because I totally didn't understand it last time. I kind of spaced out. I think I got semi-triggered because I remember in 11th grade I did this sugya.
Yeah.
And I found it to be very painful, and I kind of spaced out the last time I did it, so I'll give it a shot. I did it because in Sukkah comes up also Yeshem L'Mikra, Yeshem L'Masaras, and for some reason trauma rises up when I learn the Sukkah. So I have to okay. Shloshim and Elan. The Tanur about V'nikra Balabayis Elohim, that the Balabayis will go to the judge. Harikan Echad, that's 1. Ad Elokim Yovadavar Shnei, that's 2. Harikan Shnaim, so it's 2 total judges. Asher Yeshun Elohim, Harikan Shlosha, you have 3 different Rav Yoshia. So Rav Yoshia says Elohim 3 times in the pasuk, therefore you have 3 judges. Rav Rav Yonasan says Rishon Tchila. Now, so the first time it says it, you have to take it for itself. We don't, and his opinion, Rav Yonas's opinion is we do not explicate the first mentioning of it.
Yeah.
So he only is able to get 2, Vein Bezdin Shakal, and we know a Bezdin cannot be equal. So Masif and Alayim Odachad Harikan, so we add another, so it's 3. Okay. So basically Rav Yoshia and Rav Yonasan have 2 different ways of getting to 3. Rav Yoshia says that it actually is in the pasuk where it says Elohim 3 times, and Rav Yonasan says it says Elohim 3 times, but one of them needs to be for the explanation itself, and therefore he's only able to learn 3 by saying Bezd and Shakal, where you can't have an equal amount of judges, and therefore you have to have 3, just logically speaking.
I realize this is more of an Ian question, but it just came to me.
Yeah.
Why don't they darshan the fact that it says Elohim, and say that it has to be at least 2?
What do you mean?
It says they shall come to the judges, so it's already plural.
I don't know if that's plural. In this instance, I don't think Elohim is plural. I think that's singular. Let's see what Rashi says. Ein darshan tchilos leminyan delagufe asalabay delabay minchon delhim lashin gedolos v'rabnos. That the first, meaning Rashi's explaining what it comes to teach, and it comes to teach that you need mumchim.
Yeah, I guess this is much more of a Ian question. I think, because frankly, like, it seems to me like it when
like we say God, we call God Elohim.
But that's different.
It's not plural.
But that's different.
Why?
This is referring to judges.
Right, but it's the same word.
I mean, there's a singular, Aloha.
Don't censor the hey when it's judges, Jacob.
Yeah, I know. It's more of a. I shouldn't. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now the Gemara is going to analyze the argument between Rav Yoshia and Rav Yonasan. So name of a darshan tchilos kamifagi. So let's just say that they're arguing about whether or not you're allowed to darshan the first mentioning, and that's the argument. The Marasav darshan tchilos, that Rav Yoshia says you are able to darshan tchilos. Marasav ain't darshan tchilos, and Rav Yonasan says you cannot darshan tchilos.
Yeah.
So that's how the Gemara wants to start, but it says lo. Dekuli alma ain't darshan tchilos. Everyone believes you cannot darshan tchilos. So Amar lach Rav Yoshia. Name a krav and nikra bayis al shofet. So how, if it's true that we don't darshan tchilos, so how does Rav Yoshia explain how we get to 3? So we get to 3 by saying the nikra of balabayis el shofet my Elohim shema mina liminyana. It should have said nikra bayis el shofet. The fact that it says Elohim, it means that it's coming to add a 3rd. Wait, why can't Rav Yoshia just say the same logic as Rav Yonasan? I guess because he didn't.
I'm guessing because he doesn't want to say Ein Beit and Shakal.
Or that was my first thought, but my second thought is that because we're basing it off of this, meaning there is a text that tells you the machlokas between Rav Yoshia and Rav Yonasan, and Rav Yonasan is clearly taking the position of Ben Shakal, and Rav Yoshia is not. I think that's what's going on here.
Say that again. What do you mean? What?
Meaning we know there is an argument between Rav Yoshia and Rav Yonasan that exists, and
right.
Rav Yoshia and we know Rav Yoshia takes the psukim, right, and darshans those 3 psukim, right. So we can't start changing. So we're trying to be creative where we're saying he doesn't darshan tchilos, but he still is able within that to still darshan that first pasuk, even though he doesn't darshan tchilos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean he's darshaning the words. He's not like if it was shofet, then he would be like, okay, now we're only with 2.
Correct.
But it's the change in words that he's darshan.
Right. Meaning, I was confused for a second. I'm like, why don't we just say that they agree and say like Bezdin Shackle? But we know they don't agree. It was a stupid question. I just didn't realize.
It wasn't a stupid question, but yeah.
Okay. You know what we call a question in yeshiva, like a bad question?
What do we call a bad question?
Do you know the terminology in the Litvish yeshivas?
No, what
Balabatisha question.
Balabatisha. Yes. That I had heard. But the most important thing, which I've never been able to translate to English, is apparently Rav Moshe Feinstein once said, "Nobody ever died of akasha."
It's true. That is a good line.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shema Mina Leminyana. Rav Yonasan lishna the almanaka, and Rav Yonasan says that's a regular expression. So he's not. He wasn't inspired to make an extra drasha there, and that's why he needed to use the Bezdin Shackle.
Adam is making actually a good point. So in Semitic languages like Arabic and Hebrew, the minimum plural is actually 3, because there's the dual, there's the single, dual, and multiple. Although the multiple can also be dual, but the if you're being strict, you can say that the smallest plural really should be 3.
What does that even mean?
So you have shana, shnatayim, and then shanim, right? You have yom, yomayim, yamim.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is actually very weird. You have shavua, shavuot, but you have shwaim for 2 weeks. Anyway.
Okay. And the Gemara is about to ask my question, which is hysterical. Rav Yonasan,
it wasn't so balabatish.
I guess not in the end. Rav Yoshia Leslie Bezdinaka. So Rav Yoshia doesn't believe in Bezdinata. So like, why didn't Rav Yoshia why didn't he have the luxury to use Bezdin Shackle? Matanya Rav Elazar ben Osher Rav Yoshia Glili Omer Matam and Lomar Lintos Achrei Rab Lahatos Hatorah Amra Asei Lecha Bezdin Nota. Right? Because it says in the pasuk that you should go after the majority. So therefore, the Torah is telling you to make a uneven court. So wait, is this Vatanya? Right. Why is this a question of Yoshia? Yoshia is not like. Oh, because it's a brisa. Okay. Okay. So the Gemara answers. So how does Rav Yoshia get out of this? Several like Rav Yehuda. The Amar Shivim the Tanan Sanhedrin Gadol Haisa Shel Shivim ve'echad. So he held like Rabbi Yehuda that hold you can have 70 judges. The Tanan Sanhedrin Gadol Haisa Shel Shivim ve'echad. The Tanakam of the Mishnah says you need to have 71. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shivim, you need to have 70. So Amar the Shabbos Yehuda b'Seder Gedola Dichsivi Krei b'Shar but Tedina Mishabbos Lei. Okay, but even if he holds like Rabbi Yehuda in this instance, right? Who says that Rabbi Yehuda would agree in a case of a lower court that would be the case? And if you want to say that there's no difference between the higher court and the lower court, Rabbi Yehuda says you have 5. V'amrinan my time of Rabbi Yehuda, v'samchu shnayim, ziknei shnayim, ve'ein bezdin shackle. Hey, so we literally have a Mishnah from Yehuda where he explicitly states you do need to have Bezdin. You can't have Bezdin Shackle.
Mm.
So the Gemara answers, "Der Yoshi Adif with Rabbi Yehuda. The either Rabbi Yehuda Basaji Gadol he's the Lesley, Habashar B'Dinim Islay." So Rabbi Yehuda says by Sanhedrin Gedola you do not have this odd requirement, but Bashar B'Dinim Islay. You do have it. But Rabbi Yoshi Bashar B'Dinim Nami Lesley. So Rabbi Yoshi shows across the board you need to have the you have to have an equal Bezdin. The Elahai Lintos Ma'avalei. So what does he say about the pasuk of Lintos? Mukum lebedin nefashos. Abadinim Abaslo. He says it's only for din nefashos of cases of life and death, but not in cases of monetary value. Wild stuff.
Yep.
The Gemara questions this further. If two people Two judges said the person's innocent, and one judge says the judge is the defendant is guilty. Zakai Shnaim Zakai. In that case, it's innocent. Shnaim over Mechayev, Echad over Zakai. Chayev. In that case, they're guilty. So name it the low curve of Yoshia. So let's say it's not the curve of Yoshia. Why not? Because we're talking about. Why would it not be like a Yoshia? Because we see that.
It's not Acharei Harabim Lintos and not Acharei.
Oh, right, because he doesn't believe in the whole idea of you need to have basically unanimous voting, essentially. If you don't hold the Bezdin Shackle, you basically hold you need to have unanimous vote.
Because there's 3 judges. Yeah, there has to be 3 judges and they have to agree.
Right. Is that really the only alternative? So it's like completely lopsided, right? If you do
the very idea that you go according to a majority of judges is a gezerah sakasa. Yeah, nowadays everybody imagines that makes sense. But ultimately the question becomes, what makes you think that a majority makes what's correct or not?
Interesting. You're saying it has to be unanimous for it to be correct, essentially. That would be the logical. We think it's logical as the majority rules, but
the fact you can have a judgment that's not unanimous. I mean, there's a reason why juries have to be unanimous in American courts for criminal law.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So we say, I feel the Rav Yoshi, Ma'asle B'Kal V'Chomer B'Dinin Nefashos, Ma Dinin Nefashos Techamiri Amrach Manazil Basaroba Dinei Mamanas Lo Kol Shekain. Oh, so he does have it in the end both ways. He does get it both ways in the end. It sounds like. According to Rav Yoshi, he believes that you don't need to have an uneven court, and you can go after the unanimous vote.
Because he learns it out of a kol v'chomer.
Right. Interesting. That's the end of that Gemara. You ready? Do you want to hit the next one?
Sure. Tana Rabbanan. Dina mamna b'shlosha, Rabbi Omer b'chamisha. Kedei sheyigmar din b'shlosha. Atu b'tlata mi lo gamar dina batre hachikamar.
Wait, what's that?
What?
So we're bringing back what we said a minute ago.
We're going back to whether it's 3, right? Dine Mamanat B'Shlosha. We're actually, the funny thing is, we're actually going back to the beginning of the Mishnah. The first question is on the second phrase of the Mishnah. we're going back to Tana Rabbanan Dine Mamna B'Shlosha.
Right. And Rebbe's reason for needing 5 is Kleshi Yigmar Hadim B'Shlosha. You need to have a unanimous vote of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. Atu Bitzlata Milo Gamar Dina Betray. So there, I guess they're just translating from Hebrew to Aramaic?
No, wait. It's asking a question. Why? What's this? What's so powerful about 3? Like, what about Atu B'Tosa Milo Gamar Dina B'Shlosha? Like, why can't you have a unanimous vote with?
It started with 3. Why can't you finish with 2? Yeah, Atu Bitzlata Milo Gamar Dina Betray. Right? Okay. Hakikama. This is what it should say. Mipnei shegomar din b'shlosha. What does Rashi say? Atu kihavu tzlata meikra mi lo gamar dina betray mipnei gamar din shetzarich shlosha begamar din ela ma'ata the kroi begamar din kaima. Sabar tlata kiktive begamar din kiktive megadef ba. Rabbi Abahu ela ma'ata.
Oh, it's saying Atu B'Tlosa Milo Gamar Dina B'Shlosha. Meaning, Rabbi says you need to have 5. Kadeshi Gamar Dina B'Shlosha. That way you can have 3. But the Gemara then asks, but Atu B'Tlosa Milo Gamar Dina B'Shlosha. But let's say you did have 3. Let's say you didn't have 5 judges and you had 3. Can you not be able to settle things with 2? Hachikamar Mibnei Shigamar Din B'Shlosha. That I don't know what that means. Atu give the Mibnei Gamar Din Shesarach Shosha B'Gamar Din.
Oh, I think they're teaching the Bryce, well, the Mishnah, right? Well, no, this is still, I mean, this is a Brysa about it, right? Tana Rabbanan Dine Mamna B'Shlosha Rebbe Omer B'Chamisha Kedei Sheyigmor Hadin, right? And they're saying, okay, so why can't it finish with 3, right? But no, it should say because in the end, not Sheyigmor Hadin B'Shlosha, but that Gamar, because Gamar Din requires 3.
Right.
You understand the difference of the taich?
Meaning it's the key is it's the focus. It's not on the 5 judges. It's on the fact that you need 3, which means you need 5.
Yeah.
Right. It's on the fact that you need 3 to be unanimous on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ilema kasavar tlata ktive begadmar dina ktive megadef ba.
No, Ksivi, that's and the next sentence. So Alma kasavar plus Ksivi begamar dina Ksivi. That's the end of the sentence. So we see that when maybe it's talking about the psukim about when it talks about the judges, maybe that when wherever Rebbe figured out that you need 3 judges, it was talking about the Gemar Din, not about how this court should be set up. It was talking about the final psak of the din needs to be with 3 judges.
Okay, but ilema means if you're going to say, right?
No, Alma. No, it's Alma. Alma Kasavar. It's not ilema. It's Alma.
Oh, okay.
So Alma Kasavar. It's like inclusive. We see that Tasa Ksivi Mardina Ksivi.
Okay.
But where does he learn it? Is that the same? Where does he learn you need 3? Is that from the? Is that
the
our only source from the Elohim Sukkim? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying Megadeth Buzz is something new.
You know, it's a response, but it's interesting. Megadef means to curse someone out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at ArtScroll here, and they translate it as made a gesture of surprise. I don't think it means that. I think Megadef means to curse someone out.
It does, yeah.
It's hysterical.
Because obviously Art Scroll has to be very we're going back to we're going back to what you call it, the frum world being frummer than the Rabbanan.
I was really surprised. Yeah.
Mamish Etzura. Mamish Etzura.
Wild.
Isur de Oraisa.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, okay. So Ravo curses him out.
Oh, Megadef ba Rabbi Abahu?
Yeah. Right. Isn't Megadef someone who curses somebody?
Yeah, but I didn't.
Ravo curses out Rebbe.
Interesting. Okay. Megadef ba Rabbi Abahu. Eila Ma'ata. Tehe Sanhedrin Gedola Tzricha Mea v'Arbayim. Right? If you're going to say such a thing, a small Sanhedrin is going to need 140.
Right. 141. So he's basically saying if Rebbe is always viewing the constitution of a court as actually talking about the final din, so then that means you're
141. What's with 70?
Right.
Yeah.
The Gemara is so insane. It's so crazy. They keep going.
The Tehe Sanhedrin Katana Tzricha Arbayim v'Chamisha. Right? You would need 45 because you then you need Kadesha Yigmar Din B'Shlosha V'Esra.
Right.
Eila Asvali Shivim Ish Amar Rahmana Mesha'at Asifa Shivim V'Shaftu Ha'eda V'Hatzilu Ha'eda Nami Mesha'at Shvitat Ha'eda Hachinami V'Nikra Baal Habayit El Ha'Elohim Mesha'at Kriva Shlosha Eila Hainu Taima the Rebbe Asher Yashiun Elohim Trey Nemar Elohim. Because when we're talking Yashiun, it says Elohim twice. Lamata, Nemar Elohim Lamala. And it also has Ma Lamata Shnaim, Af Lamala Shnaim. The Ein Beit Din Shakul Mosifin Alehem Od Echad.
I'm just pulling up the verse in Numbers. Let's see if I can pull this up.
I should probably actually have it here.
Share screen. Okay, so the verse in Numbers says, "Vayomer Hashem al Moshe," and God said to Moshe, "Asli shivim ish miziknei Yisrael, gather for me 70 men of the elders of Israel. Asher yadata came ziknei am v'shotrav. The lakachtos am alamoid v'hitziatzvu sham imach, and let them take their place there with you." So that
that's for Sanhedrin Gedolah.
Correct. That's the Sanhedrin Gedolah. Correct. Exactly. But the point of the Gemara is saying is that everything here they're trying to show by the 70 and by the 23 and by the 3, it's Mishas Kriva, right? It's all about the gathering, which is the original piece of when they start actually doing the judgment, right? So basically, Ravo is just flat out just disagreeing with Rebbe, and not only is he disagreeing, he's saying it's untenable that
it's ridiculous. Yeah,
right. That's also interesting. Megadef Le Ravo. I'm curious. This is something I'm always really I feel really absent with, or I don't know how to say it, like a big gap in my Gemara studies is that Megad Ravo, he's not talking to Ravo. I don't think he's talking to Rebbe. I think he's talking to the person that proposed.
Yes,
proposed that Rebbe saying this.
This perush on Rebbe.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like it's really different if you don't, and I feel like I think Yosef would be really good to know like who's talking to who exactly. It's so important to understand the structure, I'm pretty sure because Rebbe Vo, I think he might be a Tana because isn't anything with Rebbe automatically a Tana and Rav and Amor? That's how I always understood it.
No, Rebbe. So smicha is only done in Eretz Yisrael, right? So a lot of the Amoraim did not have smicha, and they were in what you call it? They were in Bava.
But you're saying it's not a blanket rule. Anytime it says Rebbe in the or Rebbe versus Rav is Tana versus Amor. You think that's that's not true at all? I would love to ask. That.
As far as I know, the big difference is whether the names are Hebrew or Aramaic.
Interesting. I'm going to ask Yosef about that. I'm going to get back to you.
Okay. Yosef would know much better than me.
But now you can continue, and Rebbe's going to change. We're going to change the Rebbe's interpretation now.
Okay. Where are we? Asalisha the Rahmana Mishad Asifa Shivin. Mishavta Haeda Vatzila Haeda Nami Mishat Shvitat Haeda Hachinami Benikra Baal Habayit El Elohim Mishat Kriva Shlosha Ela Hainu Tama the Rebbe Asher Yarshiun Elohim Trey Nemar Elohim Lamata V'Nemar Elohim Lamala Ma Lamata Shnayim Af Ma Lamata Shnayim Af Lamala Shnayim Ve'ein Beit Din Shakol Mosifin Aleihem. Right? So it's since it's I thought this is the verse you were looking up. Asher Yarshiun.
That's Exodus 22. Exodus 22.
Oh, found. I actually do have it here. Al Kol Davar Pesha, Al Shor, Al Chamor, Al Se, Al Salma, Al Kol Aveda, Asher Yomar Kihu Ze, Ad HaElohim Yavo, Davar Shnehem, Asher Yarshiun Elohim, Yishalem Shnayim Larehu.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it says Elohim twice. The first time is when they're coming to it, and the second time is Asher Yarshiun, right? Is when they make their determination. So just as the beginning, same has to be by the end. He's saying that the beginning and the end has to be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait a second. This is what you were saying in the beginning. So Elohim is plural.
In a sense, yeah. I think he is.
In a sense, I think he's saying that straight out. Wait a second, that's wild. Oh.
Yeah, the Rashi says Yarshiyun Lashon Rabim.
Oh, you're Shion Elohim, right? It's Lashon Rabim. Okay. But so now, okay. So it's not. So we were both right essentially because Elohim is basically singular, but now that your Shion is informing that Elohim is plural.
Yarshiyun. Yeah,
Correct.
you're right. You're right.
So Malamat Shnayim, just like where it's your Shion is talking double, so Av Lamal Shnayim, it's also going to say it's double.
Yeah. So he's learning it from Yarshiyun. Interesting. Ve'ein Beit Din Shakol. Okay.
Right.
Af Lamal Shnayim Ve'ein Beit Din Shakol Masifin Aleihem Od Echad Harei Kan Chamisha.
But wait, now we have to remember what was our whole issue we were having. Our whole issue was that Rebbe. Right, we were saying
the issue is that
have 3.
That Rebbe says you have to have 5.
Right, you have to have 5, and the reason why he says you have to have 5 because you have to have 3 to finalize the din, and then that caused it a whole cascade of chaos, which we basically rejected and said, okay, that all must not be true. And now we're saying no, really, his issue is just okay. So it doesn't have to do with the psak din. Now we're saying it has to do with just the reality of the actual gathering of the judges is referring to 5 from the get-go. It's not from the psak. Right?
Yeah.
And what about the Rabbanan? So now
the Rabbanan
Rabbanan right?
Yeah, right. Amar Rav Yitzchak Bar Yosei.
No, Yershun. That's the answer. Rabbanan holds Yershun, which means
the Rabbanan Yershun Kasi.
Right. Oh, and this is how we get into Yeshaim Lamikra and Yeshaim Masoros, because they believe that it's written without the Vav.
I see. So they're darshaning that they're darshaning the fact that it doesn't have a Vav.
Correct. It's written without the usual right. So it's not. There's no Vav there.
Tosfot v'yishkavan katev the parak b'mam behema afilu Rabbi Modeh mishum dekra mochach the Pinchas lo chet shichasu hakatuv. I have no clue what he's saying, but doesn't matter. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak.
So now we're going to go on the whole tangent regarding Yeshem Lamikra, Yeshem Laseres. But I really need to understand what the difference between those two things are. Maybe you'll explain it, what the difference is.
Between which two things?
Yeshem Lamikra and Yeshem. The whole Gemara now is going to be about Yeshem Lamikra and Yeshem Laseres.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference between those two are. I never got that clear.
Okay, you know what an Lamikra is?
No, that means like as it's written.
There are 3 letters in Hebrew, Vav, Yud, and Hey, which are referred to as Imahot Lamikra, right? Or in Latin, Mater Lectionis, which is just a Latin translation of Lamikra. Okay? Mother of reading, literally. Why? Because they're letters which before we had the vocalization system were used to clarify what the vowel should be when you write something, right?
Okay.
So when you have I guess it's a kamatz. You sometimes you put a hey there, right? When there's a cholam or a shuruk, you put a vav there, and when there's a chirik, you put a yud there.
Okay.
Right. So chirik right? So yarshiun, right, could be written with a kubutz, right, which is just the 3 dots. There's no vav there. So you can write it what's called chaser, meaning without lamikra, or you can write anything b'miluim, right? Male, you can write it completely, which means all the chiriks and all the kubutzes and cholams, you put a vav there, so the people know.
Not to forget, I might need to see it visually. But I think we're going to go through. I think that's what we're going to go through in the Gemara.
No. First you have to understand this
Basics.
Outside. Yeah, this is just a matter of Hebrew spelling, right? So here,
I think I think this is correct, right? There was a point when there was no nekudos at all, right?
Correct. Yeah, for thousands of years there was no nekudot.
Right. Full caps and no spaces. That's funny.
So, okay, this is one of my favorite websites. It's a Hebrew constructor, right?
Okay.
And you take any 3 letters, right?
Okay.
And you choose any of the 7 binyanim, right? So we'll start with Pal, which is the easiest, right? And you get it in all 4 tenses in Hebrew, right? The 4 tenses are, let's say, past, present, future, and command, right? So you have this word omer, right? Yeah. Because the root aleph mem resh means to say. Omer in the present tense means to say.
Right.
Right. And then amar, right, is in the past tense said.
Right.
So omer and amar could be written exactly the same way. But what? They put an em lamikra there. There's a vav there to remind you, right? And in modern Hebrew, you write actually b'miluim pretty much always, right? So that it's very clear. But it didn't. That vav doesn't have to be there. You can have omer without the vav.
How would you have omer without the vav? You just put a dot.
You just put a dot, yeah. You've never seen omer without a vav?
Interesting.
Or here, omrim, right? You could write omrim without the yud. You could just have the chirik there without adding a yud there. Right.
Interesting.
And the fact is, you could even have amarnu with a kubutz under the nun.
What is it called? A kubutz? I didn't know that the thing. What is it called? The dot.
The 3 dots is called a kubutz.
3 dots? No, 1 dot.
No, a kubutz is 3 dots diagonal.
Wait, can you show me what a kubutz looks like?
Sure. So these are the Hebrew.
Oh, right. Okay, that one. Right. I'm remembering. Okay. Wait, let me do Kamach patach tzeret segel.
And you see, a cholam can be with or without the vav. And similarly, a chirik can be with or without the yud.
Right.
And the fact is, hey is sometimes, and that's why sometimes hey has a dot in it. It's an aspirated hey, a mapik, right? Because you're actually it's the what you call it hey. It's the consonant hey. Right. So those 3 letters are called imahot lamikra. They're called.
We're gonna have to do a separate share on this. This is very helpful. But we have to come back to this and do it more in depth because I'm not really educated.
What's there more depth about it? This is the entire thing.
I know, but I'm saying I would love to go through it more. There's a lot to go through. Also, in my family, diktuk is. I think I mentioned this to you briefly once that diktuk is very unpopular to study.
Do you know why?
But my grandfather was like a diktuk expert.
Yeah. So. Diktuk isn't just unpopular to study. Diktuk, because of the Haskalah, right? Anybody who knew diktuk was chashud to be a maskil.
Why is that?
Because the maskilim, there was a lot of situations where people who were very involved in diktuk, including when it comes down to it, the Koraim, right? So Koraim were big on diktuk, and maskilim were big on diktuk. So there came, especially in Ashkenazi lands, it became a very what you call it? It became a kind of sus thing to do to study diktuk. I'm not even joking.
Interesting. I believe you.
They would kick people out of yeshiva for being too interested.
Interesting. Okay, now let's see this in real life. Let's see what happens now that you explained it to me.
Okay. Amar Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi v'Rabbi Yehuda ben Roetz ubeit Shammai Rabbi Shimon v'Rabbi Akiva kulahu svira lahu yesh em lemikra. Right? That, what does it mean, yesh em lemikra? Meaning that when there is an em, when in the Torah it's spelled b'milui, we darshan that. Because when you're reading in the Torah, sometimes it's written b'milui, sometimes it's written chaser, and so all of these people say that if the Torah is written b'milui or chaser, we darshan that.
Right.
Right. So when the Torah decides to write Omer Aleph Vav Mem Resh as opposed to Aleph Mem Resh without the Vav.
So without the Vav would be Mesores, and with the Vav would be Mikra.
Would be B'milui. It's all Mesora. But when you have the Vav, it's B'milui.
Which is Yeshem Lemikra.
It's and how it's written. Right?
Okay.
Because without the Vav, it could be Amar.
Right.
With the Vav, it can't be Amar. It has to be Omer.
Right. Okay.
Although I have to say, sometimes, very rarely, there is something that appears to have a Vav or a Yud, and we read it without.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any particulars, but especially things like that, we darshan.
Okay.
Okay. Rabbi Hadam Amrina. Rabbi Yehuda ben Roetz, the Tanya, Sha'alu Talmidim, et Rabbi Yehuda ben Roetz, Akra Anish Shvu'ayin? What is that? What's the Kra he's going on?
Leviticus chapter 12. Let's see.
V'im nekeva teled v'thamu shvu'ayim. Right. So shvu'ayim is written without a vav. Kenidata v'shishim yom v'sheshet yamim teshev al demei tahara.
So it says,
verse 5.
In the Nekeva teled, if she has a girl, the Tama Shuvayim Kenisasa, she'll be impure for 2 weeks, as during her menstruation, and she shall remain in a state of blood purification for 66 days.
And Shvu'ayim is written with a kubutz.
Okay.
Not a shuruk.
Okay.
Okay.
So Yachol Yaz the Keva Shivim. So you could have thought that was Shivim.
Yeah. You could have read it that
way. If it would have said it with if there was a vav in between the bays and the eye, and then you would have known it.
You couldn't possibly be shivim.
It would have been shvuai.
It would be shvuai.
Right. So you could have thought that it was shivim. Wait a second. So okay. So wait. So Yehuda ben Roetz is the one who believes in yesh aim. Lemesores. No. Yes. To Yeshem Masoras. So they're asking him, Yachol Tehei Yolad Nekeva Shivim. Amr Lehen, he said to them, Time Vitir Bazachar, Vitime Vitir Benekeva. So the Torah gives us designated times of Tumah Tahara by males and Tumah Tahara by girls.
By giving birth to a son or a daughter.
Yeah, son or daughter. Ma'akishatir Bazachar Benekeva Keflayim. Af Vitime Bazachar Benekeva Keflayim. Just as
so the times of Tahara and Tuma given for a son versus a daughter, right? The daughter is twice as long as the son.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he's saying, look, it's clearly it's not Shivim, it's Shavuayim.
Right.
Because it's Shavua for a son, it has to be Shavuayim by a daughter. It has to be double.
Why is he saying anything about doubling?
Because by a son, it's half as long. Look, so it says Vitama Shua. So read
Shivas Yamim.
Read the son part first.
So Davar Israel is Vitama Shivas Yamim.
Yeah, and if it's a girl, if it's a boy,
and if it's a girl, it's Shuayim.
Read the son part.
Davar of Israel, Lemar Isha Kizazri Aviel Zachar, Vitama Shivas Yamim.
Right.
Kameni das Devosa Titma.
Right.
So,
and
then it's 33 days.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's 7 days and then 33 days, and the other one has to be 14 and 66.
Right.
Right? So you can't say it's 70 and 66.
Right.
It's double.
So Amar Lahem Iatem Zgukim Lekach Shuvaim Karinan V'yesh Im Lamikra. We pronounce the word Shuvaim and Yesh Im Lamikra. So that means okay. So so we're proving that Yehuda ben Roetz believes Yeshem Lamikra. So what happened is that his students came to him and said to him, it says Shuayim in the pasuk. I would think that a woman who gives birth is tamei for 70 days instead of 14 days. And Yehuda respond to them, just as long the time that the pasuk is saying your tar by a male child, it's doubled.
The pasuk doesn't need to use an extra vav to show you something that you can clearly read out yourself. So there's nothing.
Right, but what happens? But what happens at the end? Where it says at the end of this Gemara, it says "La'achar sheyatzu yatzu." After the students left, he went back to find them, and he said, "I don't need to give you this whole proof. All I can just tell you is Yeshem Lamikra. That's all you need to know." Meaning he's going back on the way he's explaining it. First, he's saying it's a logical thing.
Mm-hmm. לאחר שיצאו, יצא ומחזיר אחריהם, אמר להם, אי אתם זקוקים לכך, שבועיים קרינן, ויש למקרא. יש למקרא. What?
Also, I don't understand this really. It's like in general, just on a basic way the verses are the way it works is you're basically Tame for 7 days, and then Tame for another 33. Meaning, is that aren't in a sense aren't you just Tame for 40 days? Why is it 7 and then 33?
I think it's 7. Then she goes to the mikvah, and then it's 33 more days until she's
levels of like impurity.
Yeah, there's like if she doesn't go to the mikvah, she's tameh for 33 days after she goes to the mikvah.
Mm-hmm.
So if she doesn't go to the mikvah, it's until she goes, and then the 30.
Oh, then the 33 days. Okay, it's like a new clock that's triggered after the 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If I remember correctly.
So then.
Yesh em lamikra. I think by yesh em lamikra here, he means that if there was a vav there, you would have to darshan it. I think that's what he's saying. If it had bothered to say a vav, if it had bothered to write a vav, you would have needed to darshan it.
Arsenal says here the written word cannot be viewed independently of its received vowelization. Rather, the word is nothing other than its vowelized form. Interesting.
How do they explain at the very beginning, the first time it says yesh em lamikra?
There's a fundamental question of methodology in scriptural exposition. While there is certainly no dispute regarding how the particular word is to be read, the question centers on whether the scriptural allusions to the oral laws are embedded in the written form of the word, since this is the physical record of God's word transmitted to Moses at Sinai. Yesh em lamesores, the written form, is primary, or whether these allusions are keyed to the vowelized form of the word, yesh em lemikra. Although both the written and pronounced forms of the Torah text were given to Moses and transmitted from generation to generation, it is the written form that is termed mesores, since it is written form which its precise spelling that had to be specifically transmitted to and carefully preserved by a select group of scholars in each generation. The pronounced form, however, did not have to be specially transmitted since most of the people were fluent in Scripture.
So
he's saying Yesh em lamikra is about the pronunciation. So it's funny. I would think it was the opposite. So Yesh em lamikra means the pronunciation is what's primary, not what's actually written. So what Yehuda ben Roetz is saying is that I know that the pronunciation here is Shvuayim and not Shivim. That's all I need to know. That's how I'm understanding this.
Let me pull out the article. Now you have me doing it. Hashem Yerachem Alai.
Isn't Yesh em lamikra to mean ayin aim b'michtav? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I understand your question.
So the opposite. So he's saying the opposite of yesh em lamikra should be yesh ein em lamikra, but apparently they're opposing yesh em lamikra to yesh em lamesora.
I'm telling you, this is what crushed me in 11th grade. I'm telling you, this was this absolutely just crushed me.
Crushed you?
Somebody
ever died of a kasha, remember?
I never understood this.
Okay. יש לך לומר שיש אם למקרא, ונמצא שהאיסור הוא לבשל בשר. Oh, that's a whole. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yisrael, Rabbi Kula Husvir Lahu, Kulam Sovrim, Yesh Em Lamikra. Ha'ikar, Ha'em Shel Hateva, Hu Kafi Shehi Nikret, Va'acharav Nimshachat Hadrasha. Af Im Nimsar LeMoshe, Sheyesh L'chtov Et HaTeva Ba'ofen Shone, Miderech HaKriya. Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Yosef Mevar Minayin Lamad Shekol Hatnaim Ha'elu Achen Sovrim Ken Upatach V'divrei Rabbi. כפי שאמרו שהוא לומד שירשיון הוא בלשון רבים כפי שנקרא למדו שדורשן מכל נזכר בפרשה שני דיינים. רבי יהודה שלום ואני מטמאה שיעי גם שלום כפי שמש כתוב אם כן יכול ללמוד את משך הזמן כן שבועיים קרינה אנו קוראים את הטבע שבועיים כאילו הייתה יוד יתרה ויש אם למקרא ועיקר הדרשה נמשכת אחר אופן קריאת של הטבע.
Daniel, that I don't know if I could share that with you. You're gonna start texting me that if I call you that, Daniel.
Who's Daniel?
Daniel is my friend from Connecticut. You ditched that estuary conference, Jacob.
Like a donkey hole equivalent. I mean, the worst thing that you can call someone, as far as I'm concerned, is a snag, but
That's true. That's true.
So I mean, what it's saying here is that he's going off the yud being kiflayim.
I'm completely spacing out, to be honest, because I already gave up.
Okay, look at the word shvuayim.
Yeah.
Right? It's written chaser vav male yud.
Okay. Wait, okay.
Right? Shvuayim.
Right. No vav, but it has a yud. Yeah.
Right? So he's saying even if your you want to say, even if you want to say that, if it was Shuvuayim, it should have had a Vav, and it's Shivim, then why does it, but it only has one Yud, right? Well, I guess in the Torah it always only has one Yud.
The way I understand it is Yesh Em Lemikra means it's all about how you pronounce it, and Masoris is how it's written. Okay, so if you believe Yesh Em Lemikra, right? If you believe that it's about how you pronounce the word, then what Rabbi Yehuda ben Roetz is stating here is that I know this word is pronounced Shvuayim. What's weird about it to me is that how does he know this is pronounced Shvuayim? How does he know that? My understanding, the way he knows that is because of the tradition that's passed down. That's how he knows this is how you pronounce the word. But isn't that goes against
Rabbi Art Scroll in the blue Art Scroll, which I have to pull rank. The blue Art Scroll is higher than the red Art Scroll.
Of course.
Right? It says, Shvuayim Karinan, Ein Korim et Hateva Shvuayim Ki'ilu Haita Yud Yetera V'yesh Em Lemikra. It's Ki'ilu Haita Yud Yetera. It's focusing on the.
Let's go to the next one and see what comes, because it's going to keep going and talking about this. Let's see if the next piece of the Gemara helps us.
Okay.
So Beis Shammai, he believes also in Yeshem Lemikra. The Tanan Beis Shammai Omrim Kol Hanitanin Al Mizbeach Achitzon Shenasam Matana Achas. This is talking about sacrifices that were the blood was applied to the outer altar. So if the priest made just one application instead of two, keep fair, it's still like a productive sacrifice. I don't know what Shinem. Okay, Shinem Arbedam Zavecha Yishafech. Okay. So it says, "And the blood of your sacrifices shall be spilled."
I guess he's saying the Yud is Yetera?
I'm not sure. In the case of a chatas, a offering for a sin, the Kohen must do two applications. And according to Beis Hillel, even in the case of a chatas, if he made just one application, it's still good. Amar Reb Huna, my time at the Beis Shammai. What's the reasoning of Beis Shammai, who says that you need to have two for a chatas? Karnos. Harikan sheish. So it says in the verse, karnos in plural term. So arba mitzvah ushtayim la'akev. So four of them is to tell us like that you need to do it.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Why would you need four for itself? Why would you need four for itself? I don't understand that.
Well, because there are four corners.
Oh, like for the application.
Yeah.
Oh, arbala mitzvah. Okay, shtayim lakim, and two is to tell you that you need to basically hit two of those corners, I guess.
Yeah.
We still omrim karnos harikan arba gimel mitzvah v'achas la'akev.
So I guess they're saying that there's two, the first one, because it's plural, is two, and then one more and one more.
Correct. So Beis Hillel then gives primacy to the written word of the written form of the word, and Beis Shammai only cares about the pronunciation.
Oh no! So the first chronot is written with a vav. The second two are written chaser.
Right, and Beis Shammai only cares about the pronunciation, which is yesh em lemikra. Okay, so maybe that's how you say it. Okay, so yesh em lemikra means how you pronounce the word. How do you pronounce the word? And Masoros means how is it textually written? That's the difference between the two. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's what's going on here. I hear what you're saying. It's just it doesn't make sense with everything else I know about Torah and darshan.
Well, I'm changing your whole life right now. Before we started at 4 p.m., you were one person. Now you're a new man.
Apparently.
So wait, I want to say that again. Yeshem lemikra is how you pronounce it, and Yeshem lemasoras is how it's actually written, passed down from generation to generation. It's confusing because I would think it's the opposite. I would think the pronunciation is what needs to get quote unquote passed down. Like this is how you pronounce the word, but so it's a little bit deceptive in my mind. Meaning maybe the problem is I'm using the word masoras to mean tradition. What does masoras? What does masoras mean? Something
Masora means tradition. No, the thing is, so yesh em lemikra means that the Torah actually bothers to write things in order to tell you how to say them.
Right, but that's not what it means. That's not what it literally means. At least what we're learning here.
So what's the difference between Shammai and Hillel here, right? Shammai is saying, okay, I'm not going to darshan the extra whether it has a vav or not.
No, Hillel he's saying I do darshan. He does darshan. He does say it's all vavs because even though it's written one, it says it with a vav, and two without a vav. I darshan all with a vav because that's how you pronounce.
Because it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter if there's a vav or not.
Correct, because it's all about the pronunciation. It's all about the mikra, how you pronounce it. Actually, how do you read it?
It's because the Torah spells things in order to tell you how to read it. The ones who say yesh em lemasoris, I think, are the ones who are saying that when there is that the M is the letter vav, right?
The M? Oh, the M is the letter vav. Okay.
Yeah, the mother. What is it? What is it a mother of? It's a mother of reading, or is it a mother of a drasha, of a Masorah, of a halacha?
I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if the aim is referring to a vav or not a vav. I don't know if I agree with that.
The letter vav is the mother we're talking about.
No, we're talking about what has primacy. Like what's raised up on the hierarchy? Is it, to make this into a Jordan Peterson podcast? Is it the pronunciation, or is it the way it's written in the verse? That's the question.
Hear you. I hear what you're saying. For a minute, consider what I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah.
That the word M refers to the letters Vav, Yud, and Hey.
Because those are the playthings that can be taken in or out, right?
That's the M. That's the
right.
The mother we're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, as in a like a father, right? An of, right?
Right.
So whether these letters give birth to how you read it, or do they give birth to a Masorah, to a darshaning it? The ones who say yesh em lemikra appear to be the ones who are saying, no, those letters are there to tell you how to read it.
Interesting. Okay. But then what you would essentially be saying is the people who believe in Yeshem Lamikra, okay, they wouldn't use those letters to Darshan. They wouldn't use those letters.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. So wait, so let's apply that. Let's use that. So Beis Shammai believes that it's even though one has a vav and two don't have a vav, we read it all with a vav because he believes Yeshem Lamikra.
The first one is telling you to read it chronot.
So he believes the rest are to Darshan.
No, he believes the first one is the vav is there to tell you how to read it.
No, but he says Arba Mitzvah Shtayim La'akev though.
Because all four of them are the same as far as it's concerned. The extra vav is simply to tell you how to read them. It's not there for any darshaning purpose. There's a vav there to tell you how to read it. It's there just for you to know how to read it. The other ones don't require it because it's in the same pasuk. You have two more. Doesn't matter. You know how to read it.
Okay.
Right? The ones who say yesh em lamasora say no. Whether there's a vav or not, right? We already know how to read it.
Right.
Whether there's a vav or not, there's a Masorah there. It's there to give you a Masorah.
Which is to give you an extra drasha, basically, to give you another understanding.
Yeah.
But then in that case, Beis Hillel here says Gimel mitzvah ve'achas la'akev.
So chronot, right? It's written one with a vav and two without.
Right. Interesting.
Okay, we've gone an hour and a half.
Okay, we'll have to continue. We'll start from next week. We'll start from the top of Daled. We'll just start from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Seems good.
Okay, this was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. You made me learn Gemara for the first time in my life in several years.
It's going to be so fun.
Wait until we get to chapter 7 and then chapter 10.
You're wrong because you'll see the Agadatas are going to start coming soon. You'll see. It's going to get fun.
Chapter 5. I'm waiting for Hey is the next Ben Yehoyada.
Yeah, we're coming up.
I haven't checked the Maharsha. Have you checked the Maharsha?
No.
I haven't checked the Maharsha at all. We're such shkatzen. I'll have to check this Maharsha.
And our audience was a crazy audience today. Oh my gosh, your Twitter feed is going viral.
My Twitter feed?
Yeah. You got a lot of people on Twitter.
No, Twitter just those Twitter numbers are just people who pass by the thing. They don't necessarily even looked at it.
Got it.
Yeah. Forget the Twitter number. The Twitter number is nothing. Yeah. Okay, end stream. Bye, people.